I stumbled upon this concept all the way back in college, where I found out that you can literally tell women a laundry list of things they do not want to hear, as long as you do it before they do something they can't take back. Until I was nearly 30, I thought of sex as some sort of psychological or spiritual state. Like you had sex with a person and they left an indelible mark on you somehow, like on your psyche or on your spirit. Then, I got into the dozens and, where I'm at now, and I realized like, oh no, sex can just be a fun activity between two consenting adults, and it doesn't have to be anything more than that. But if you don't have my experience, then you might be one of those people who feels like they have the stain. So if you tell a girl after the fact, look, what you thought was going to come from this situation is not going to come from this situation, then that stain can start to feel negative. And that's where the hatred and the disappointment and the, feeling like you fucked with them comes in. Because they're like, oh, I did this thing I can't take back, and now I feel icky. Now I feel stained about it, right? The disclaimer is all the stuff you want to tell a person to not waste their time. So anything about yourself where if they got to the end of the date and they didn't learn about the information until the very end of the date, or not until the second date or the third date or after they had sex with you, would they be upset by this? Like if you're only looking for a casual relationship right now, that's definitely a deal breaker for a lot of people. So like you could be meeting a girl on the street, and if you really don't want to waste any time, then you can say, hey, I just gotta, I want to take you on a date, but just a heads up, like, even if we have the best date in the world, I'm not looking to make anyone my girlfriend yet. I would be looking to like hang out with you maybe once or twice a month or something like that, right? If you want to make sure that you don't accidentally end up on a date with a woman who isn't cool with that, well, then you got to tell her that before you set up the date, right? Only makes sense. So your disclaimer is the thing that you plan on letting every woman know. Things have changed over time too. Like 10 years ago, I used to have to tell people I do a combat sport. I used to have to say, I do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Do you know what that is? Have you ever seen the UFC? Yeah, it's that when it falls on the ground. Because 10 years ago, people were like, human cockfighting? Oh my God, you do that? Ooh, gross, right?
No other self-defense is going to teach you how to kill a man from between your legs.
So that was more important to let people know. Also at the time, I was living with my ex-wife, so I had to tell people like, well, actually, this was a trial and error thing. I would set up a date on OkCupid, and then I would say, hey, can I call you real fast? And they'd be like, oh, that sketches me out. Why do you want to call me? And I'd be like, just something really quick. And I'd say, yeah, I just want to let you know, I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste my time. I'm going through a divorce. I'm still living with my ex-wife. Is that a problem for you? Right? And 4 out of 5 of them were like, no, that's not a problem. So I stopped bringing it up. But for the one girl for whom it was a problem, it ended up being the problem that stopped our relationship. If there's nothing that you can think of that would upset a person to learn after the fact, then great. That means you have a broad appeal. Having a broad appeal is a double-edged sword, though, because it means you're going to have to find different things to screen a person on. With me having a very niche appeal, I actually find that it makes my life a lot simpler, because I already know that the vast majority of people are not going to be interested, which means my demographics, my warm environments, all of these things are easier for me to figure out. The quintessential 30-something-year-old female is not interested in non-monogamy, right? So if I was trying to find a woman to date at a Britney Spears concert, I'm going to have to go through a lot of women before I find the girl who doesn't mind non-monogamy. That's one level. But then the woman who's actually enticed by it and sees the benefit for her life, that's a whole other level, right? So it's going to take me a while at the Britney Spears concert to find that woman. On the other hand, if I go to The Weeknd, where the fucking music is about doing drugs and having casual sex, the chances that I'll find a girl who's down to fucking do drugs and have casual sex with me are much higher, right? But that's why I say, like, you find your niche environments, and in those niche environments, then the disclaimer, it becomes more powerful in the following way. If you're talking to a highly compatible person, there's less need for the disclaimer because her assumptions will be your assumptions. Her expectations will be your expectations. So the fact that you still take the time to do it is a demonstration of your integrity. And then this makes you even more attractive. Physical attraction for a female, there are actually 4 dimensions. Beauty is how you look, right? Beauty is your physical attractiveness, your physical features. But there are 3 other criteria that all combine to form the physical attractiveness number. And one of those is honesty. The more honest a woman thinks you are, the higher she will rate you on a physical attractiveness scale. So if you're already talking to somebody who already is thinking the way that you're thinking, but you still take the time to say, hey, these are the things about me that you might have a problem with. These are my expectations. These are my boundaries. Let me know if you're still interested. They're going to be like, well, holy fucking shit. You know yourself. You know what you want. You know how to ask for it. Ding, 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 ding. Do you know how many other guys are even capable of doing that? Let alone doing all 3 of those? Let alone doing it at the appropriate time before the woman has done something where she might feel like she overinvested? Nobody is fucking doing that. No one. So you stand out from the pack just by being your fully honest self. And you will, if you're at this for long enough, you will change minds. You will find women who are like, I never do this, but I do it with you because I trust you.